we just got a major update that will define this matchup against the Kansas Jayhawks and the rest of the college basketball season going forwards, and we have to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Duke Basketball 365. If you're a Duke Blue Devils fan, please hit that subscribe button. But getting into the news for today, coming from CBS Sports, Kansas freshman guard Darryn Peterson, the projected #1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft, will be out for the immediate future due to a hamstring injury. Coach Bill Self told reporters after his team's 76-57 win over Princeton on Saturday. Peterson, one of the most highly touted guard prospects to come out of high school ranks in years, made his collegiate debut against Green Bay earlier this month, finishing with 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. In his last appearance against North Carolina on the road, 24/7 Sports #1 ranked player in the 2025 recruiting cycle scored a season-high 22 points in an 87-74 loss. Duke is going up against the Kansas Jayhawks Tuesday night at Madison Square Garden in the annual Champions Classic, where we always face a blue blood program. It's Kansas, it's Kentucky, Michigan State, and Duke every single year. The matchup switches based on who's playing who. This year we got the Kansas Jayhawks, and they will be missing, or high likelihood missing, Darryn Peterson, their #1 guard. This is huge for Duke because not only are we already the significantly higher ranked team, if Kansas is without their best player, it makes the game that more difficult for the Jayhawks. If we look at where the betting odds are currently on this game, Duke is a sizable favorite on most sports books at a -10.5 point favorite. That is changed from where it opened at 7.5 points, meaning originally the odds makers expected Duke to win by 7 or 8 points. And now, since it's been open to the public for a couple of days, the public is betting money on Duke and they're expecting an even bigger win now. This is the way the odds are trending. A lot of money's coming in on Duke. Usually that means fade the public and bet Kansas, but there's a good reason why the odds are shifting. And the odds are shifting because Kansas is going to be down their all-world guard. Very, very big player. Very big news that Duke will not have to be matching up against him, even though our roster is set to be able to play tough defense on teams, especially with good guards. Really, Jon Scheyer makes defense a point when he is building out his rosters. Caleb Foster is a player who is known to get physical. He likes to, get in guys' faces defensively, and especially the guy that people don't really talk about, Malik Brown. He's a power forward, currently listed as our second power forward on the roster. He's a guy who can play against guards. He can play very high-level defense against guards. He's always swatting the ball away, getting in passing lanes, and plays very high-level defense. Malik Brown can be the matchup for Darryn Peterson should he end up going in this matchup. And there's actually a really, really interesting stat about this matchup line here from Sports Illustrated. The last time players faced off in the regular season and also went top 3 in the same NBA draft was 2021. That year, it was Duke's Paolo Banchero, the #1 overall pick in the 2022 draft, versus Gonzaga's Chet Holmgren, the #2 overall pick in the draft, in an epic showdown. If you remember that game, that was a really, really good game versus Duke versus Gonzaga. Highly competitive. Top recruits on both sides. Great coaching on both sides. This game should be no different from that. Duke, very well coached, even if it's a different coach. Kansas, very, very well coached as well. Could be a fantastic matchup featuring 2 marquee players. But if Kansas is going to be down their #1 guy, that is a huge disadvantage for the Jayhawks and something that the Duke Blue Devils are going to be looking to capitalize on. Currently, we're still rolling out a roster that is a little bit more experienced than usual. Last season, Duke rolled out almost a completely freshman starting lineup. This season, we are rolling with 2 freshmen and 3 non-freshmen, 3 veteran players. Isaiah Evans and Patrick Gongba, both sophomores, and then Caleb Foster has more years under his belt starting for the Duke Blue Devils, or just playing for the Duke Blue Devils. So we can expect a more veteran group than we usually see for the Duke Blue Devils. But what I really want to see is the new the new emphasis on defense that we're going to see and that we've been hearing about from Dame Sarr. The news on him has been he is completely changing his mentality when it comes to the defensive side of the basketball, and he wants to be a player who's going to have a very strong impact on that side of the basketball court. Malik Brown, I hype up in every single video because he deserves to be hyped up in every single video as the best defender that Duke has, a top 10 odds betting favorite to win the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and one of the best defensive players in all of college basketball. No one talks about him, but he deserves it. Dame Sarr has been watching Malik Brown at practice and wants to get on that same level. If we've been watching the last 2 games for the Duke Blue Devils, you may have noticed Dame Sarr has gotten more involved on the defensive end. He has gotten opportunities to force turnovers and then run in transition. Yes, he smoked that layup really, really badly, but he got there. He's not going to smoke layups for his whole Duke career. He's going to make them. But what we like to see is Duke forcing turnovers to give us the ability to run in transition. It's especially important for Duke to get transition turnovers because when we recruit better than every other school on a year-to-year basis, so we have the biggest, fastest, strongest guys, and what they do best is get in transition and use that speed. When you are able to get out into the open floor, you are able to show off the fact that our players are that much faster than everyone else, and that's what leads to all the fun lobs, the highlight plays, the really big highlight plays. That's why Duke is better at that than other schools, even with, being ranked and having more talent. It comes down to having better athletes on the floor as well. But the defensive effort has to be there to force those turnovers, to give us the opportunity to run in transition like that. And it's going to come from turnovers being forced by Dame Sarr, turnovers being forced by Malik Brown, and whoever else is going to be getting involved on the defensive end. We're going to see, Isaiah Evans, fantastic offensive player, not the best defensive player in the world. And Gongba, good defender around the rim, which every team needs. We all need a rim protector. Can't have guys going to the rim and putting up layups and getting up close shots at will, but he isn't someone who his defense isn't going to lead to the turnovers the same way it will from Dame Sarr and Malik Brown. But this is a very big injury that Duke needs to find a way to take advantage of. Kansas Jayhawks are currently ranked as the 25th best team in the country. With a loss versus the Duke Blue Devils, you would imagine a loss versus both Duke and UNC, Kansas would drop out of the top 25, but they're still Kansas. They still got an elite top-of-the-line head coach. They still recruit very, very well. We all know they're going to be back. But hey, Duke, let's continue this undefeated season. Let's take it as far as we can. It's not going to stay undefeated for the whole year because play a whole lot more games than the football teams play. But we're going to see how this thing shakes out, and I can't wait to watch how this year turns up for the Duke Blue Devils. If you stuck around this long, thank you for watching the video. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button and nope, got that wrong. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Duke.